The mandate given by the First Presidency and the presiding bishopric is to only focus on financial growth. EPA employees are told that the money will be used after the second coming of Jesus Christ or during Armageddon right before he would come again.
Revis Wayne Goodzo. I see that the church tried to sneak in a Friday night news dump so that no Mormon would ever know about it. The church knows I cover church news every weekday when there's church news, or like last night when I made up something. So, the news, which Mormons will go, yeah, so, church is true. Duh. You can leave the church, but you can't leave us alone. Oh, if Mormons only knew. If they only knew. But Mormons will be saved in ignorance. That's the new law. So, church officially registered in the Republic of Azerbaijan. Except that they're not registered in the United States of America. They're not registered as a foreign agent. The Foreign Agent Registry Act, FARA, requires that if you're claiming to be a religion, which the church is claiming to be a religion, but their articles of incorporation clearly show they're not a religion, they're a corporation using a religion to finance their criminal operation. Articles of Incorporation, Heber J. Grant, 1923. All Mormons believe the church is true, and oops, you've been leaderless this whole time. It's been a corporation running you guys. Just like a mob organization. That's why they wear the suits and the short-cut hair. And you thought Mr. Mack was just trying to profit off of it. And so, yeah, this is a pretty serious crime that's going on here. Azerbaijan is a developing nation, which means they're still developing. After the collapse of Russia, you get this Eastern Bloc that create a segregated, separated nation states. And so this is why Putin is going after Ukraine, is because he's in the process of reunifying Russia back to its original glory. Make Russia great again. Mr. Ga. And so, yeah, Azerbaijan will eventually have to fall in line to join Russia again. What's also interesting is that this is in the Southern Caucasus region. And there's a latter-day prophecy that comes from Alexander the Great that didn't really happen, and thus it's a prophecy of the latter days, of Gog and Magog and the war. And so, yeah, Putin fighting with Ukraine in the latter days is such a thing there. So everybody in the region knows the myths as they suppose and purposely fulfill it. And so the church isn't there preaching the gospel. To be recognized means that they now can send missionaries to recruit and have the Azerbaijanis who convert, get recruited, pay the church tithing, and thus they're not registered as a foreign agent. And so, as Nelson has told us after the whistleblower, we do this with every source of income. And so the tithing from Azerbaijan will have an LLC company, because it's in a foreign land, not in the United States of America, although Canada launders the money through BYU, as we found out from their press. The Fifth Estate, I think it's called. And they will only use a minimal amount, Ronald Reagan's tinkle down economics, where those at the top get funded all the money and they pee on those below them. Ronald Reagan, he created that. And so, yeah, they'll purposely be cheap on their expenditures from Azerbaijan, and the rest of the money will be laundered into an offshore bank account, which, that's thanks to the press in Australia. Yep. The church went down there and quashed it. There was a lawsuit against the church for violating the laws of Australia in that regard. But the church went down there, was his name? I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. Come on. Seriously? Brass band. Yeah, brass band. Right? Yeah, brass band. He went down there to Australia to quash it. That must be his territory. Because Bednar is the territory for Azerbaijan, because he's got the Middle East. And Mormons are led to believe that two prophets from Revelation are going to go to Jerusalem to preach child bride polygamy and pay tithing to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and then get murdered and lie dead in the streets for 3.5 days. Then rise from the grave as everybody was giving gifts. We murdered prophets of the Lord Jesus Christ, non-Trinitarian, of course. And then fire would flow from their mouths and everybody would be burned. And then Jesus would come from outer space on a flying white... Oh, he doesn't need the flying white horse in Mormonism. That's just Christianity. And put his foot on the Mount of Olives. And an earthquake would divide it. And the surviving Jews would come running through the valley to see Jesus on the other side and say, "What are those wounds in thy hands and in thy feet?" added by Joseph Smith. And he would say, "These are the wounds with which I was wounded in the house of my friends, thanks to Constantine creating the Jewish scriptures into literal history rather than prophecy and revelation." And then they'd join the church and go and convert the heathen Islamists who are warring with them in the first place. I'm sure they'll be accepted very well, because they can prove that Jesus is not Islamic or Christian or Jewish. That's the summary of the latter days for the Mormons. God. And so, yeah, chaos and pandemonium, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. That's pretty much it. Did I mention 97% Islamic? So yet again, they are doing a business deal with an Islamic terrorist group. An Islamic terrorist nation. Because everybody who supports Hamas attacking Israel, providing aid and comfort, like the UN, the Red Cross, others, medical doctors who are going over there to give aid and comfort to the Islamic terrorists, are terrorists themselves. And so Azerbaijan supports Hamas in attacking Israel. So the church is now doing business with a terrorist organization. And these terrorist organizations in the United States are funding the brand new presidential candidate, Harris. If you saw my pictures from the morning's video. So there you have it. Church news. Churches again committing crimes across the nation. Our federal government won't do anything to stop them. They're just letting crime run rampant in America. And so, Bloodbath 2024! America decides. Who do you want to coup America? Screw the constitutional republic. We've been calling it a democracy anyway. And so, yeah, the flag is taken from the communist Islamic symbol. China, Russia, the sickle and the hammer. Yeah, it's just a replacement for the crescent and the star, which is an eclipse. I don't think they know that. They think the circle is a moon, but you can't have a star in front of the moon. Nope, the moon is the star and the sun is eclipsing because of the moon coming in front of it. But, they didn't become the expert in ancient Middle East. Anthropology of the ancient Middle East. That was me. So, yeah, this is done too quickly. We need to talk for another hour. Aren't there any honey bunnies who want to sit on my lap while I just ramble on? No? Okay, whatever. Whatever. Was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just on the countdown until doomsday. That's all we're waiting for. Everybody believes they're right and I'm wrong. What do I know? Nobody else believes like I do, so therefore I must be wrong. Yep. There's the religious leader that shook the hands of Nelson, and thus, we'll get that one again. So this was back on March 1st, 2023. Oh, isn't that interesting? Right before October 7th. Isn't that interesting? I warned you something was up. Because we're not Muslim. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. Is that a Jew? No, he doesn't have the... Well, that could... Russian Orthodox. Well, that's the other guy. No, rabbi. Okay, yeah, he's a Jew. It's a different orthodoxy than the typical orthodoxy that we think of. So yeah, and modern Jews are fractured. They've got their own beliefs, and everybody else is wrong. Nobody believes that they're pre-Babylonian captivity Jewish Egyptians, like the Book of Mormon says. I'm just rambling. I'm just filling space to make a longer video. Like I said, we're done.